If you want to turn even the worst, most degraded acidic land into fertile ground for your palms, stay and listen to this. We are going to reveal the highest impact soil recovery combination at the very end. Welcome to this podcast episode brought to you by AGS Agriculture Global Solutions, your partner for better farming practices.
Hi, everyone. It is really great to be here.
Yeah, hello everyone. As always, I am speaking directly to you, our experienced agricultural field advisors, and the hardworking Malaysian smallholder oil palm farmers out there.
Right, because we know the sheer amount of challenges you face every single day.
Exactly. I mean, you are out there walking your blocks, trying to maximize yield, and sometimes you just come across patches of land that absolutely refuse to cooperate.
Yeah, those specific spots where the fronds are looking yellow and stunted.
Right, and the ground feels literally like concrete under your boots.
Yeah,
No matter what you seem to throw at it, the palms just look like they are stuck in time.
it is incredibly frustrating for farmers. I mean, you feel helpless.
It really is. So today, let's focus on a highly relevant study published back in 2022. So, that makes it about 4 years old now in 2026.
But the data inside it is still incredibly powerful.
Oh, absolutely. This research looks at combining oil palm empty fruit bunches, which we will just call OPFB moving forward, specifically applied as compost.
Right, and applying it alongside mycorrhiza, vesicular, arbuscular, or MVA.
Exactly. The entire goal here is to figure out how to bring extremely degraded, seemingly dead soil completely back to life.
And just to set the scene here and be completely transparent, this study was actually conducted in South Sulawesi, Indonesia.
Yeah, specifically on post-nickel mining soil.
Which I know exactly what you're probably thinking right off the bat when you hear that.
Yeah, I am thinking, what on earth does an abandoned open-pit nickel mine in Indonesia have to do with my family's estate in Johor or Perak?
It sounds completely alien, right? But let's connect the dots here because it is actually highly relevant.
Well, the researchers needed a true worst-case scenario to test this. They were looking at soils that have been physically and chemically destroyed.
Exactly. We are talking about land where the entire top ecosystem has just been stripped away.
Leaving behind intense acidity, near-zero organic matter, and just terrible baseline fertility.
Yeah, the parent material in that specific area is ultramafic rock. When you combine that underlying geology with intense tropical rainfall and high temperatures, you get severe weathering.
And leaching, which honestly sounds very familiar.
Unfortunately, yes, that is the exact reality for a lot of Malaysian smallholders.
Right, we deal with highly weathered, acidic, and nutrient-depleted soils that behave very, very similarly to those extreme mining soils.
The heavy monsoon rains wash our topsoil and inputs away, and the intense heat bakes whatever is left.
So basically, you're saying if we can figure out how to fix a blasted mining pit, we can definitely fix a stubborn, acidic patch on a Malaysian estate.
Exactly. We are looking at the extremes to understand how to fix the everyday problems we see in our own backyards.
So let's discuss what is actually happening underground when soil reaches this level of degradation.
Well, the primary issue in these areas is a severe lack of organic carbon, usually falling well under 1% combined with high soil acidity.
The study looked at soils with a pH under 5.5, right?
Yeah. And when the pH drops that low, things get very dangerous chemically.
Because toxic elements wake up.
Precisely. Specifically aluminum, let's just call it Al, and iron or Fe. They become highly active and start completely dominating the soil chemistry.
And they do not just sit there harmlessly in the dirt, right? I mean, I have always heard they act like chemical bullies.
That is a great way to put it, honestly. They actively lock up essential nutrients.
Especially phosphorus or P, right?
Yes, the biggest victim here. In acidic, degraded soils, the overwhelming majority of your phosphorus gets chemically bound to soil colloids by these metallic ions.
So they form these dense, tight compounds that your palm roots simply cannot absorb.
Exactly. The phosphorus might be right there, but it is completely unavailable to the plant.
By the way, soil testing for acidity and nutrient content is essential to know your baseline. And remember to use leaf testing to confirm exactly what nutrients your palms are actually absorbing.
That is such a crucial point. Knowing your numbers is the only way to manage these invisible chemical reactions.
Right. I like to picture this whole situation as a locked safe. The nutrients, especially the phosphorus, are technically there in the soil.
Sitting right next to the roots, millimeters away.
Yeah, but the plant is starving because the safe is locked tight by the acidity and those toxic Al and Fe metals.
So we obviously need keys to open that safe.
Which brings us to the OPFB compost and the MVA. How exactly do they pick the lock?
Let's look at the first key, the OPFB compost. We obviously have an abundant, constant supply of empty fruit bunches in Malaysia.
But the study specifically used a hot composting method with effective microorganisms, right?
Yes, stirring it periodically over the course of a month.
Wait, why compost at first? A lot of guys just toss the raw empty bunches right out into the inner rows and let nature do the work. Why go through the extra hassle?
Because raw bunches tie up nitrogen as they slowly break down, and it is a very lengthy
Oh, I
process.
see.
By composting it first, it transforms into an immediate, incredible resource. It is rich in carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, and magnesium.
So when you apply it as finished compost, you are giving the soil a direct, accessible injection of these nutrients.
Plus, crucial organic matter that instantly begins rebuilding the soil's physical structure. It acts like a giant sponge.
Okay, so it brings the organic matter and the raw nutrients. But how does that unlock the safe? How does it deal with the toxic aluminum you mentioned?
As the compost breaks down further in the soil, it releases organic acids. These acids do something incredible. They form chelating compounds with the free aluminum.
Chelation. Okay, you need to break that down for me. I am not a soil chemist. Does it just dissolve the aluminum away?
Think of chelation like a microscopic chemical claw.
A cl-
Yeah, the organic acids literally grab onto the toxic aluminum particles and wrap around them.
Oh, wow. So they pull the aluminum completely out of circulation.
Exactly, so it can no longer interact with the plant roots or bind with the phosphorus. It neutralizes the threat completely.
That is fascinating. So it is literally putting the bully in a straitjacket.
That is a perfect analogy, yeah.
And what happens to the palm's roots if you do not neutralize that aluminum?
It is devastating to the plant. Aluminum actually disrupts cell division right at the tip of the root cap.
Making the roots dangerously rigid, right? Almost like concrete.
Yes, they physically cannot push through the soil to grow.
So by binding that aluminum, the compost removes that physical barrier so your root systems can actually expand again.
Precisely. It creates a safe zone.
Quick note, tell us in the comments what oil palm topics you want next, so we make episodes on what matters to you. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you are not subscribed yet, give this episode a like, and write a comment. This helps our YouTube channel so we continue transforming oil palm scientific articles into language that is easy to understand and digest.
Absolutely. We love hearing from you guys.
Okay, so the compost neutralizes the acid, locks up the toxic metals, and adds nutrients. That is a really solid foundation.
It really is. Now, what about the second key, the MVA?
All right, mycorrhizae, vesicular, arbuscular. These are specialized, highly beneficial fungi that form a mutualistic symbiotic relationship with the roots, correct?
Yes,
A
exactly.
symbiotic relationship meaning they trade with each other. How does that trade work underground?
The fungus actually colonizes the root tissue itself. Then it sends out its hyphae.
Which are those incredibly long, microscopic, thread-like structures.
Right, they go far out into the surrounding soil, well beyond where the plant's own thicker roots could ever physically reach.
So the palm feeds the fungus carbohydrates from photosynthesis, and in return, the fungal network acts like a massive plumbing system, pumping water and nutrients back.
Exactly, it is a brilliant system.
Let me stop you there. I've read that MVA produces external roots and secretes organic acids, along with something called glomalin.
Yes, glomalin glycoprotein compounds.
Right, which sounds like something straight out of an academic textbook. What does that actually mean for the dirt under my boots?
It is biological soil glue.
Soil glue.
Yeah, glomalin is a sticky protein secreted by the fungus. It physically binds tiny, loose soil particles together into stable microaggregates.
Oh, so it takes loose, dead dust or hard clay and turns it into spongy, healthy soil that can hold water and breathe.
Yes,
Is
exactly.
it accurate to say MVA is essentially upgrading the root's local road system into a massive microscopic highway network to forage for water and nutrients?
That is exactly right. The MVA network can penetrate into micropores in the soil that are simply too small for standard plant roots to squeeze into.
And it provides benefits far beyond just foraging, right?
Absolutely. Because of this massive root extension, MVA significantly increases a plant's drought resistance.
So when the dry season hits, it actively finds water deep down.
Yes, and it also acts as a physical and biological barrier, protecting the roots from various soil-borne pathogens that might try to attack.
All right, let's get into the hard data from the study, but let's make it highly useful for the field. We have the theory, but what is the actionable instruction here?
Well, the researchers did not just guess. They tested multiple application rates to find what actually works best in the field.
They tested combinations of compost at 5, 7.5 and 10 tons per hectare, right?
Yes, against MVA at 2, 4, and 6 tons per hectare.
And the directive is very clear. If you want to significantly rehabilitate poor soil, you need the combination of both.
Right.
But what is the golden ratio? If I am taking notes right now for my estate planning, what numbers should I be writing down?
The absolute best, highest impact results across the board came from applying 10 tons per hectare of OPFB compost alongside 6 tons per hectare of MVA.
That is the exact winning combination.
It is.
Let's talk about what that golden ratio actually accomplished in the study, rather than just reading a spreadsheet.
First, we'll look at the cation exchange capacity, or CEC.
Right.
The initial degraded soil had a terribly low CEC. After applying this specific treatment, it increased to 19.67 ceramol per kilogram.
That is a huge jump. And just to remind everyone, CEC is like the soil's battery capacity. A
Exactly.
higher CEC means the soil holds on to applied fertilizers much more effectively, instead of letting them wash away in the monsoon rains.
You are literally expanding the storage capacity of your land. The fertilizer stays exactly where you put it.
Precisely. And let's revisit that locked safe of phosphorus.
The combination treatment successfully picked the lock. It massively raised the available phosphorus to 17.40 ppm.
Oh, wow. So it really opened it up.
It did. But the most crucial benefit of all, especially for our highly acidic soils, is the detoxification.
Right, the toxic aluminum and iron.
The compost slashes the exchangeable aluminum down to just 0.80 cetamol per kilogram.
Which is incredible because most plants need it under 1 cetamol per kilogram to just survive.
Exactly. And it dropped iron levels down to 23.81 ppm.
So the organic acids from the OPFB compost physically bind and neutralize the toxic aluminum, freeing up the root systems to actually grow.
Yes, that is exactly what happens. It is a major action point for farmers dealing with stunted palms in acidic patches.
That is a total game changer. So the toxic metals are neutralized, the safe is open, and the battery is charged.
It really is a complete turnaround for the soil.
Now I want to pivot to a major headache for anyone dealing with degraded patches establishing ground cover, specifically a legume cover crop, or LCC, like Calopogonium mucinoides.
Right, that is always a struggle on barren, toxic soil.
You throw the seeds out, they germinate, and then they just wither and die.
LCC is essential, though. It protects the soil from erosion and fixes atmospheric nitrogen, which reduces your fertilizer needs.
But it struggles under severe stress.
It does, but the study tracked this closely, and they found that the MVA is the secret weapon here. Applying MVA at 6 tons per hectare is the exact solution for establishing cover crops in these hostile patches.
How much of a difference did it really make for the cover crop?
The study showed this specific dose maximized root length to 10.19 centimeters and plant dry weight to 0.97 gram.
So it significantly boosted the overall plant.
Yes, the LCC is naturally capable of handling a little dry stress, but the MVA amplifies that ability tremendously. It helps the cover crops survive water stress and nutrient scarcity.
Okay, I hear the data, and it sounds amazing in a controlled study. But I have to push back here on the reality of it. Applying 10 tons per hectare of compost plus another 6 tons of MVA is incredibly heavy, intensive work.
Oh, absolutely.
What is the practical action for a smallholder tomorrow morning? Let's be real. Physically, moving 16 tons of material per hectare requires serious logistics, a ton of labor, and a lot of time.
You are totally right. It is a massive logistical challenge. If you try to do this everywhere, you will go bankrupt on labor alone.
So what is the alternative strategy?
Do not try to blanket your entire estate with this treatment if your logistics and budget are tight. Take a highly targeted approach.
So target the worst areas first.
Exactly. You know the exact spots I am talking about, the worst, most degraded, low-yielding, highly acidic patches. Target those specific patches to rehabilitate them first.
I love that. Do not fight the whole battle at once. Win the small, important victories first. Fix the worst areas to bring the baseline up.
Exactly.
But you do not have to rely entirely on guesswork. You can actually register on CropDrive.ai. It is an incredible tool. The innovative artificial intelligence AI guides fertilization and soil health step by step, and Palmyra answers questions step by step.
It really is a massive shift for field management. It was built by an international team specifically for Malaysian smallholders.
Right.
It is completely unique worldwide, and it costs a tiny fraction of what you would pay for a traditional agronomic consultant.
Exactly. We highly encourage you to join the hundreds of Malaysian smallholders already using CropDrive to raise their income and cut their costs.
Especially when needing help interpreting lab soil or leaf results to decide exactly where to apply that heavy compost.
Right. It takes the guesswork out so you are not wasting labor. Which brings us to the final reveal we promised right at the very beginning of the show.
The big takeaway.
The ultimate secret to reclaiming bad soil isn't just throwing more bags of chemical fertilizer at it. It is the biological synergy. OPFB compost provides the fuel, and MVA builds the engine.
Together, they physically rebuild the soil structure.
If you just take away one image today, let it be that lock safe. The acidity is jamming the door shut, keeping your nutrients trapped. The compost acts as the tool to neutralize the acid and unjam the lock.
And the massive microscopic highway of the MVA reaches deep inside to pull out the treasure and deliver it straight to your palms.
That is the perfect way to look at it.
Yep.
You have to treat the soil as an active, living partner, not just an empty bucket you pour chemicals into.
Exactly. Well said.
And that leaves me with a final thought for everyone to chew on before we go. We spend so much time thinking about the genetics of our palms or the exact chemical makeup of our standard fertilizers.
Right.
But what if the biggest untapped yield potential on your entire estate is not above ground at all? What if your next massive breakthrough comes simply from farming the fungi and the microbes in your soil, rather than just farming the palms themselves?
That is a very powerful way to look at it.
Something to mull over the next time you are out walking the blocks. Remember to visit our AI farming assistant at CropDrive.ai to learn more on how to increase your oil palm yields and incomes. Thanks for listening.